Hi, I'm Mary. Welcome to class. Today we're going to be working on some yoga for compassion, so reconnecting with our own self-love and then also extending it out to the world around us. We're going to get started lying on our bellies. So if you would like, stretch yourself out completely on your mat. You can stack one hand on top of the other, bringing your forehead to rest on the top palm. If that's not comfortable, you can always bring one cheek down to the mat and extend the arms behind you. And we'll start class by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and letting it go out the mouth. Taking another cleansing breath like that in through the nose and let it release. And just for a moment, start to check in with how you're feeling in your physical body. Let the ankles and feet roll off to the sides. Notice if you're gripping in the shoulders or squeezing the fingers or toes, try to let that relax a little bit more. Noticing where the energy is flowing and where it's getting stuck. Now start to check in mentally and emotionally, so noticing what sort of energy you're bringing to your mat. Begin to connect a little bit deeper to the rhythm of your own breath. So without trying to change it, just notice the texture and the quality of it. Does it sound mechanic or rhythmic? And then breathing with a little bit more intention. Try to let the exhale last a second or two longer than the inhale. So taking a deep breath in and out. And you can let your breath fall to a normal, sustainable rhythm. And if you'd like to set an intention for your practice, take a moment here to do so. Think about whatever you need. And one last time together, take a deep breath in. Stick your intention right at the top of the inhale. And then release and let go. From here, start to press towards all fours. So coming up onto the hands, you can walk your knees in a little bit closer so that they're stacking underneath the hips. Wrists are going to be underneath the shoulders. Spread the fingers nice and wide. On your next breath in, drop the belly, tilt the tailbone. Take a look up for cow. On an exhale, pull your belly in, bring your chin into your chest, tuck your tailbone under for cat. Inhale, soften and look up. Pull back on the hands a little bit, spread the collarbones wide. Exhale, pull in and round, push forward on the hands, breathe between the shoulder blades. And take a few more rounds of your cat-cow on your own. Feeling free to pause and breathe into any areas that feel a little tight or stuck. Making your way back towards a stable tabletop position, walk your hands a little bit more forward. Start to press your hips over to the right, back towards the heels, over to the left, and then bringing yourself forward once again. So now you're just starting to draw circles with the hips moving in one direction. The circles can become bigger or smaller. Maybe you get the neck and the head involved. Coming back to center, start to switch directions, press yourself over to the left, coming back around, and then forward once again. And then once you feel like you've reached a level of symmetry for yourself, sit back to a child's pose. You can take your knees a little bit wider, bring your two big toes together, press the hips back, walk the arms forward, bring the forehead back down. Take a huge breath in and a full breath out. And come up onto the fingertips. Walk both hands over towards the right side of your mat. You can stay up on the fingertips to let the chest and shoulders open up a little bit more. And taking a round of breath here, filling up the left side of your body. And walk the hands back towards center. And take it over to the left side. Deep breath into the right side. And out. Walk the hands back towards center. And from here, walk the hands in towards you. You're going to take your right hand towards the back right corner of your mat. Tent your fingertips. Press your hips and your chest up to the ceiling. Left hand is going to reach for the back right corner. Take a full breath in here. On an exhale, stamp the left hand out in front of you. Feed the right arm behind the left, coming in to thread the needle. Bring the right shoulder, cheek, and temple down to the mat. And the left hand can stay where it's at. Begin to press the hips back like you were going to sit in child's pose. Bring the left hand towards the back left corner. Press the hips in the chest. Reach the right arm up and back to the left. Full breath in. Exhale, stamp the right hand out in front of you. Feed the left arm behind the right, switching sides as you come onto the left side of the shoulder, cheek, face. Pressing your hips back like you were sitting into child's pose one last time, except this time the hands reach towards the respective corner of the mat. Tent both fingertips, lift the hips and the chest, look up. Take a full breath in. Exhale, lower the hips back to child's pose last time. Rooting evenly into your fingerprints, start to lift towards all fours, tuck under the toes, and then stretch your hips up and back. You've got your first downward facing dog. As you arrive, you can find a little bit of movement, so connecting to your ritual. Maybe you'd like to bend one knee as the other leg straightens. Shift sides. Maybe it's just a sway of the hips from side to side. Nod the head yes several times, letting go of tension in the neck. And begin to walk the hands back to meet the feet, so you're coming to a forward fold at the back of your mat. As you arrive, bend your knees a lot, grab for opposite elbows, let the head fall, and then sway a little from side to side, or maybe just rock back and forth. And coming back to center, release the hands down. On your next breath in, lift halfway so you can slide the fingers up your shins. Crown of the head's in line with the tailbone. Exhale, bend the knees a lot. Refold, come all the way down. Next breath in, press into the feet. Find a full body stretch as you come all the way to standing. Sweep the arms out to the side and up. Connect the palms. Exhale, hands to heart center and pause. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, let the right arm glide down the right leg. Left arm's going to reach up and over to the right. Relax the right shoulder, roll the left shoulder a little more open. Inhale, reach back to center. Exhale, switch sides. Left arm down the left leg, right arm up and over. Inhale to center. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Ground down through your right foot. And start to lift your left heel in towards the glute and take your left hand to the outside of the left foot. Find a focal point out in front of you, something that's not moving. And if you can, see if you can lift the foot a little bit higher, but be careful not to push your ribs forward, so pull them in. You've got a round of breath here, noticing the front of the opening of the left leg. Start to bring your gaze down towards the mat. Release the left foot, but keep the heel in towards the glute. Bend the right knee and reach the hands down towards your mat. Once the hands make contact, start to circle the knee, moving the hip in each direction. So circling clockwise and then counterclockwise. And let the left leg fall so you come into your fold. Take another deep breath in, lift halfway. Exhale, fold down, walk the arms forward, coming into downward facing dog. Next breath in, roll yourself forward to a high plank. So bringing your shoulders directly over your wrists. Spread your fingers wide, gaze a little bit more forward. Puff up the space between the shoulder blades, keep the belly pulling in. Take another deep breath in. If you'd like to add knees down to the mat for support, go ahead and do so. As you exhale, bend the elbows. Keep them pointing back as you lower onto the belly. Bring your hands over to the sides of your mat. Tent your fingertips so that your elbows are stacking over your wrists. Inhale, lift the chest so you're pressing into the pelvis. Exhale, dip the right shoulder down to the center of the mat and look to the left. Inhale, lift to center. Exhale, switch sides. So bring the left shoulder down, gaze right. Inhale, lift to center. Exhale, lower down. Bring your hands to frame your ribs. Next inhale will be a cobra or an upward dog. So cobra, just lift the chest. Upward dog, slide the hands back a bit, straighten the arms, lift the tops of the legs. Exhale, tuck or roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and out. Start to walk the hands to the back of the mat. Once again, bend the knees as much as you need. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise all the way to standing. Exhale, side bend over to the right. So the right arm's going to travel down, left arm up and over. Inhale to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale up high. Exhale, hands to your hips. Ground down through the left foot this time. Kick the right heel in towards the glute. Right hand's going to reach for the outside edge of the right foot. Pull the heel in a little bit closer. Bring the right knee to meet the left knee. You've got a round of breath here. Find a focal point out in front of you. See if you can lift the foot a little bit higher to open up the front of the right leg. Start to shift your gaze down. Release the right foot. Keep the heel in towards the glute and then start to lower yourself down. So the hands are going to reach for the mat. Once you make contact, start to find the movement through the hip joint on the right side. And release the right foot down, come back into your fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow in. Walk the hands forward. Once again, you've got downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank. Remembering you can add the knees for support or keep them lifted. Exhale, going through chaturanga, bend the elbows, lower down slow and with control. Bring the hands to the sides of the mat once again, lift the elbows. Inhale to a wide cobra, so lifting the chest. Exhale, lead with the left time this side, so dip the left shoulder down, gaze right. Inhale to center. Exhale, switch sides. Inhale, back up high. Exhale, lower yourself down. Hands frame the ribs. Inhale to a cobra or upward dog. You choose. Lift the heart. Exhale, down dog. And take a round of breath here. Deep breath in through the nose and out. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Gaze forward. Put a little bend in your knees. On an exhale, start a slow walk to the front of the mat. See if you can stay up on your tiptoes as you walk the feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise all the way to standing. Sweep the arms out to the side and up. Look up as you reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, fold down, press the hips back. You can cut the hands down the center, lead with the chest as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, plant the hands, step the left leg back to lunge. Lower the left knee down. Sweep the arms forward and up for low lunge. And as you lift up, find a little bit more length. You can keep the back toes tucked or untucked. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, left arm forward, right arm back. So you're starting to twist. Right hand can come to the low back. Fingers point down. Start to reach the left arm up to the ceiling and then a little bit over to the right. Squeeze your legs together. And if you feel like you have the space, that right hand might even start to work towards the back of the left thigh. And take a full breath in. We've got a big movement here. As you exhale, sweep the left arm down out in front of you. Take it all the way over to the left side of your mat. The right arm will follow as you sweep it forward over to the left, and then roll the top shoulder open and look up. Full breath in. Exhale, bring both hands to the front of the mat to frame the right foot. Start to straighten the right leg, press the hips back for a half split. Hands can stay framing the front foot, or you can walk them back a little bit. Pull the right hip crease back, take a deep breath in, extend the crown of your head forward, find length. Exhale, fold in. And from here, you might start to rock a little bit forward and back. So inhaling, lunging, looking forward, opening up the chest. Exhale, folding in. You've got a few rounds of breath to just move on your own. We'll meet back in that half split shape, so hips pressing back, leg is straight. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, press the hands into the mat, pull your belly in, and you're going to slide your right leg all the way behind you and extend it to the back of the room. Start to tuck the left hip underneath the right, and automatically the right hip is going to start to stack on top of the left, and the right hand will begin to lift off the mat. Reach the right arm up to the ceiling. Keep energizing the right heel to the back of the room and press the top of the left foot down. Bend your right knee, reach your right hand to the outer edge of your right foot, and simultaneously kick your foot into the hand and pull your heel in towards your glute to open up the shoulder and chest a bit more. Carefully release the right foot, stretch the arm back up, full breath in. On an exhale, release the right hand back under the shoulder, keep the right leg lifted, square the hips, tuck under the left toes, and then stretch the hips up and back for a three-legged dog. Stay for an inhale. Exhale, kick the right heel in towards the glute. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, kick it in. One last time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, kick it in. Lengthen the leg back out, lower the leg down. You can stay here and breathe, or if you'd like to find a flow, on an inhale, ripple yourself forward to plank. Exhale, lower down halfway or all the way. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. Right foot's going to follow the left foot. Inhale, halfway lift at the front of your mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way to standing, palms to touch. Exhale, forward fold, come all the way down. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, step the right foot back to lunge. Hands frame the left foot. Lower the right knee. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Inhale the arms forward and up. Squeeze the legs together, look up. Full breath in. Exhale, right arm forward, left arm back. Left hand can meet the low back, fingers point down. Reach the right arm up, and then lean a little bit over to the left. So you should start to feel an opening in the front of the right hip. If it's okay, left hand can meet the back of the right thigh. Take a huge breath in. Exhale, sweep the right arm out in front of you, bring it all the way over to the right side of the mat. Left hand follows, reach it out in front, over to the right, roll the top shoulder open and look up. Bring the hands down to frame the left foot. And then once again, we'll find our half split. As you exhale, straighten the left leg, press the hips back and fold. Inhale, find a little length. Exhale, pull the belly in, the left hip crease back as you bow. Start to move a little bit forward and back. Noticing what you notice, how this side feels compared to the other. Maybe a little more tight, maybe more open. Meeting back in half split, hands under the shoulders. Press the hands into the mat, pull the belly in to slide the left leg all the way to the back of the room. Top of the right foot pressing into the mat. Start to roll the right hip under the left, so the left hip stacks, and the left hand starts to peel off of the mat. Reaching it up high. Press the left heel back. Bend the left knee, reach the left hand for the outer edge of your left foot, and then roll the shoulder and chest a little bit more open by kicking the foot into the hand. Release the foot, reach back up high. Bring the left hand back down to the mat, square the left hip off. Tuck under the right toes. Stretch the hips up and back. So left leg is going to come high for a three-legged dog. Take a full breath in. Exhale, kick the heel in towards the glute. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, kick it in. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, kick in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. You've got a flow here. We'll meet in child's pose. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, child's pose. Lower the knees, press the hips back. Bring the forehead down. You take a few rounds of breath in your child's pose. Let the heart rate slow down a little bit. Maybe reconnect with the intention that you set if you did set one at the beginning of practice. And a deep breath in and let it go. In the next round of breath or so, start to think about making your way back to a downward facing dog. So rooting evenly into your fingerprints. Shift towards all fours, tuck under the toes, send the hips up and back. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, step the foot between the hands so you're coming into your lunge. As the right foot lands, you're going to bring the left knee to the outside of the right foot and take a seat. So the left knee comes to the outside of the right foot. Sit your hips down so now your right ankle is crossed over your left thigh and you might pull it in a little bit. Bring your right hand behind your right hip. Reach the left arm up. Take a full breath in. Exhale, twist. Hook the left arm to the outside of the right thigh, or if you want a little bit more stretch in the hip, you might hook the left elbow around the right shin. Take a deep breath in. Sit up a little taller. When exhale, twist. You might even shift your gaze to the back of the room. Deep breath in. And out. Start to unwind. Keep the cross of the legs. You're going to bring both hands over to the left side of your mat. Tent your fingertips, bend your elbows, find a little counter twist as you bring the forehead down. It doesn't have to come all the way down. Lift yourself back up. Keep the cross of the legs still. You're going to unwind like a corkscrew to face the back of your mat. So come up onto the tiptoes, lift the hips. Unwind yourself, crawl the hands back, and you're going to land in a squat. Turn your toes out and your heels in. Bring your hands to your heart center if that feels okay, or you can keep them down for support. Press the elbows in towards the thighs. And pause for a moment. Start to walk your arms forward. So you're going to come into a down dog. Arms walk forward, legs step back. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, right knee towards the right wrist. Lay the shin down across the mat. It doesn't have to become parallel. Take a look back at the left foot. Make sure that you find a little bit more length before dropping the left knee down. Hands can frame the hips, and you can stay lifted here in your pigeon for a few rounds of breath if you'd like to work more of a back bend. Or if you'd like to work a little bit more introspection in this pose, you might even start to fold forward, walking the hands, folding over the right shin. You've got a few rounds of breath here. Notice where you're feeling this shape, maybe the back of the right hip or the front of the left. Take a few deep breaths right there. Walking the hands in towards you if you folded forward, lift the chest up. And from here, you're going to tuck under the left toes, lift the left knee up just so you could slide the right leg back towards a tabletop. Bring the left knee to meet the right knee. Take the weight onto the shin, so you're going to come all the way up to a kneeling position. And you can tuck under your toes for a little bit more space. We'll find 2 different rounds of camel. First, we'll start here supported. You can bring your hands to your low back. Pull the elbows in. Start to press the hands into the hips, and you'll start to lean back. You can keep your gaze forward if that feels better, or start to tilt it up. You're more than welcome to stay here. If you feel like you'd like to take it and explore a little bit more of a back bend and reaching back, you can reach the hands back for the heels. And just stay here for about 2 to 3 breaths. Anytime you need to come out, come out. Try to keep the hips stacking over the knees and the heart lifting up. To come out of it, bring the hands to the low back first. Press them into the back. You can tuck under the toes and then make your way back to a child's pose. You can separate out the knees, or if you'd like a little bit more stretch in a low back, you can bring the knees together and then crawl the arms forward. And just taking a deep breath in and a full breath out. Make your way back to down dog. Press into the hands, lift up through all fours, send the hips up and back. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. So you're landing in your lunge. Bring the right knee to the outside of the left foot, and you're going to take a seat. So hips coming down to the mat, left ankle crossing over the right thigh. Bring the left hand behind you. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, twist. You can bring the right arm to the outside of the left thigh as you twist, or hook the arm around the front of the left shin. If it feels okay, you might even start to shift the gaze towards the left shoulder. Inhale, sit up a little taller. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Unwind, keep the cross of the legs. Find that counter twist, so tenting hands over to the right side. Bend the elbows, dip the head down. And lift yourself back up. You're going to unwind like a corkscrew once again. So coming up onto the tiptoes, lift the hips. Find yourself in a squat to face the front of your mat once again. Toes out, heels in. Hands to heart center and breathe. Keep rooting down through the tailbone, lifting up through the heart. Deep breath in and out. Walk the hands forward, downward dog. Step the feet back. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, left knee to the left wrist, preparing for pigeon. Lay the shin down across the mat. Take a look back at the right foot, wiggle it back, finding more length in the right leg, and then lower it down. And you've got a few breaths here, staying with a lifted chest, letting the left hip sink. Or if you want to work that fold forward, walk the arms forward, sleepy pigeon, folding over the left leg. And spend some time here connecting with your breath once again, noticing how this side feels compared to the other. All right, start to walk the hands in towards you to lift the chest if you folded forward. Tuck under the right toes to lift the right knee just so you can slide the left leg back towards a tabletop. Take the weight onto your shins once again. Come into a kneeling position. Tuck under the toes, and this time we'll try to work a little bit more with our asymmetrical camel, but only do it if it feels comfortable. Know that you can always come into the same variation we took before with hands at the low back, and you're just starting to press them into the back as you lift and look up. If you want to work a bit more with the asymmetrical camel that we've been, the movement we've been working throughout class, left hand could look for the right heel. Right hand could leave the low back, reaching up towards the ceiling. Palm might face up, As you reach the right arm up, maybe you lean a little bit to the left. Take a deep breath in and out. Carefully lift yourself back up. The left hand could even come to the back for support. Pause for a moment. Bring the hands to the low back, and we'll prepare for the other side. If you're feeling sick of back bending, know that you can always drop into a child's pose. We've got one more round here. Begin by pressing the hands into the low back. Lift the hips and the heart. Look up. Right hand could leave the low back and look for the left heel. Left arm reaches forward, palm faces up. As you reach up, continue to follow the gaze. And left hand might reach for the back right corner of your mat. Taking a deep breath in and out. Carefully lift yourself up. You can bring the hands to the low back once again. Take the knees a little bit wider or together. Sit back for a child's pose. Hips to the heels. If you bring the knees wide, you're going to feel more of a stretch in the hips. If the knees are together, you'll feel a bit more release in the low back. Walk the hands in towards you to lift the chest. We've got one more low back release before we make our way onto our backs for rest. Extend the legs out in front of you. Bend your knees a lot, and bend them so much that you feel the chest resting on tops of the thighs. Grab for the outer edges of your feet, and then you can start to walk the feet forward, but only walk them as far forward as you can maintain the chest resting on the thighs. Once you feel like you notice the separation between the chest and the thighs, pause there, hug the elbows in, and then let the head relax. It might rest between the knees. And you've got a few breaths here. This should feel like a deep stretch in the low back, so almost like ragdoll, but from a seated position. And just helping release some of that deep back bending that we've been doing. One deep breath in. And let it go. And lift yourself up. You can move your seat forward a bit, take the hands behind your thighs, roll onto your back, and as you make your way down, maybe hug the knees into the chest, find a little rock from side to side or circle of the knees in either direction. Release the knees, bring the feet wide to the sides of the mat, let the knees roll in, hands can rest on the belly. And let the legs gently sway from side to side. And you can do this for a few more rounds until your low back feels like it's released. Or if you're ready, let the legs stretch out and the arms come away from your sides. Maybe the palms face open as a sign of receptiveness, with the heart open. And let the eyes gently close if that feels okay. Allowing the body to feel a little bit heavier and finding rest in Shavasana. And thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.